Hi, this is Ari Kopel with Shattering the Matrix. I also have my wonderful co-host Serena, who joins me today, and we've kind of been like chilling out. Been incognito for a little bit, both of us, more so Serena than myself, but I've also been, a little bit on the laid-back side. But Serena, so how you doing?
I'm okay today. I'm here.
That's always a wonderful thing when we're okay today. That's always really, really awesome. Yeah. So we decided to get together today because we've noticed that we do have a lot of stuff to say that hasn't been expressed for quite a while now. And it's almost like a volcano that is, just, rumbling and rumbling and rumbling, and all of a sudden it explodes. And it was one of those days that Serena called me and said, I feel like ranting today. And I go, wait a minute, it's a show. So let's record this, because when she and I start ranting, forget about it. It's it's just pretty cool stuff. It's just comedy, So what's going on in your life that you decided to call me about, ranting today?
Oh, no, well, nothing in particular. It was just a mood, I guess. I guess I was struck today by the theater of the absurd.
Yeah, I know.
The absurdity of the theater, and I, for some reason, thank God, able to laugh today and not be sick about everything that's going on, and the feeling, that most people have, and the questions that they have, and it's been overwhelming. But today I'm okay.
Well, you're more, I guess you're looking at it from an objective point of view, I suppose, today.
Yeah, I finally got objectified, and it's not like I want to stay in this feeling of being objectified all the time, because then I am a person that is simply outside of everything that's happening as an objective witness, and I firmly believe we're not here to live a life as simply or merely a witness.
That's right.
I believe we are supposed to be engaged with each other. Yep. And so, but that is difficult on planet Earth for the past, 600,000 years. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, today I'm able to do it.
Well, we'll take that. That's great. Whatever we can get that we can express, it's very important to be able to express these things, because I personally myself have been feeling, it's almost like...
go for it, Ari.
Do I really have to? Oh,
yes, you do.
Okay, okay.
We're all ears.
All right. So I've been feeling like I'm climbing this huge mountain, and I'm going vertically up, right? It's vertically, and I'm, it's one of those, those little climb things that they put up in the amusement parks that are vertical, and you've got to put your feet exactly at this little, and on this little pebble and on this little rock, and then you're going vertical. Okay. So that's why I feel like I'm halfway there in this huge mountain, even bigger than Mount Everest, and I'm in the middle point, all right, and I'm exhausted. My muscles are full of lactic acid, and I will either let go and drop, or I keep going and I can't, because I have no more energy, or I just stay there and stand there or just stay there and relax and recoup. And then once I get my energy back, then I either can climb down or climb up and decide what I'm going to do. But that's where I'm at. I'm at the point of so much lactic acid in my muscles that I can't move. So I've just decided to just chill, and pull back a little bit and watch. Okay, so I've mentioned many times, I'm an observer. I observe things, so I'm observing everything from reactions to our shows, reactions to posts, the kind of comments that are made, and not only on our posts on our website, but on other websites. I'm observing all of this, and you know what? I mean, holy moly! I just wanted to say, the S-H-I-T word. Because I don't know. I stifled myself, but maybe it'll come out, next time. But I'm just at the end of my wits. Okay? Because I can't wrap my my head around it. I can't figure it out. It's almost like we're in a dire situation, humanity is, right? But I don't know where we're going from here. I really don't know. And, my mission is obviously to bring forth information, like I'm sure yours is too, because otherwise we wouldn't be doing the radio show.
Right.
And so, information is information, but people are just all over the place with whether they, if they accept this and they don't accept that, and they take this and they don't take that, and it's like, we're not going anywhere because we're not learning anything, because we're refusing to take information from certain areas, and other areas, I'm not going to take it from, but I'll take it from this one, like that. And so I'm tired, man. I'm just like tired. So, and then we went into the Ison situation. We went there because, we don't basically ever talk about, cosmological things or anything like that.
Right.
But, it's a reality. I mean, there is something out there called Ison, and I don't know what's going to happen to it, but you know what? You and I came to the conclusion, what did you say to me?
I said, roughly, bring it on.
That's right.
Already. Bring it, whatever it is, just bring it on. Roll out the red carpet.
That's right.
And let it freaking happen already.
Yeah. So much of the waiting, and so much, all the speculation, and, who's right and who's wrong, who's got the right information, who's got, who's giving disinformation, who's got the right information. And my point is, you know what? We're all going to find out soon. It's all going to happen sooner than later, and more than likely we'll all figure it out together. So much for the, why do we always have to argue with one another as to who's right and who's wrong? We're all going to find out, and we're probably all wrong.
That'd be interesting. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be hilarious. I hope that we have the sense of humor to at least laugh at ourselves.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But the truth of the matter, and I think what I said to you was that I'm willing to go on a tow vehicle and tow that thing in. It's like, bring it on like now, okay? I don't want to wait, 2 weeks, 3 months, however long it takes to get here. Just bring it on now. Let's get it over with and let's move on.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
But man, it's getting rough. I mean, I'm just picking it up energetically, and I'm thinking, well, as time goes on, people will all get on the same page, because that's my pet peeve, right? People not being on the same page about anything.
Yeah, well, I think everybody's on the same page with being exhausted and weary to the bone right now. I think we're all there, even if, we have different opinions about things. I think everybody's pretty much at that point. I mean, I haven't seen anybody who isn't. You can.
Yeah.
You can see people who are clueless and want to be clueless, and who think that life is exciting on planet Earth because, I don't know, they were just born yesterday or something, but everybody that I come across, that I'm hearing from, the comments that I'm reading, even on YouTube, where you get so many assholes, they are commenting about how just weary and fed up they are with everything.
Yeah, because it's one big expectation, it's the proverbial carrot that's we're constantly chasing, and we can never catch, because it's not meant to be, caught. So, and we haven't caught on to that notion that we can't catch it. So we're exhausted. We really are exhausted beyond belief. I don't know. I don't know. I just think that a lot of people are still. I think that they're more divided now than ever. I really, really do. I thought that we would all at some point start coming together with ideas and philosophies and ideologies, and see the commonality in everything. Everything is obviously on the same, common ground. But I've noticed that there's more separation.
Yeah, I think people are more defending their beliefs and their ideas, because it is such a a potpourri of beliefs out there, and really no one knows what to really believe. So I think that they are just getting to the point where they just have to defend what they believe in the moment, rather than be open. And being open is no walk in the park, because you will get assaulted with every kind of belief and information as an open book. You really investigate everything, and you really can feel assaulted by all of it, and a lot of people just can't take that. They have to shut down.
Yeah.
Well, we got shut down. I had to shut down for a little while because, I took it further than I should have, because sickness is what shuts me down. I don't stop when I should. I stop when sickness shuts me down. So I got to the point where it affected me so deeply, psychologically and spiritually, mentally, that I couldn't function anymore. I couldn't form a sentence. I couldn't think. I couldn't express anything. And my mantra, to be perfectly honest right now, as of October 2013, is I don't know.
Right. Yeah. We don't know until we know, I guess, and I think we'll all know together. I really do. I mean, at some point, something will manifest itself on this planet that will be, there will be no question as to, what it is, and that we'll all be on the same page on.
Yeah.
There'll be no question. And because right now it's all individually how we interpret things, how we perceive, based on our on our upbringing, on our foundation, on stuff like that, our belief system, and it's all individualized. But at some point, the truth will be so evident that there's no arguing it. I mean, yeah. I strongly believe that at that point that we're getting there. But until then, there's much division amongst not only humanity, but of course amongst the light community, the spiritual community, and that saddens me tremendously. Because there aren't enough of the really enlightened ones, and I'm not in that equation by any means. Okay. But there aren't enough of them to make to have that what is that, the 100th monkey effect, to make a difference, in terms of what I'm saying. I'm short for words, but to make a difference, to actually turn this thing over, so that everything tips over to the favor of the light. It's just not working that way.
Well, I tend to believe that the only reason that I sprained my ankle, and every once in a while I do something wrong here. I tend to believe that the only reason that we are still here, and that there's still some semblance of civility and life going on and things rolling, food getting delivered and people living in day-to-day stuff, is because there is a silent faction that is working behind the scenes. I firmly believe that we would have been demolished a long time ago had it not been for this invisible beneficent force.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Oh, I agree.
At some level, and I think that's the only reason we're here. Most of us don't hear about them or see them. Mm-hmm. I don't, but I have a belief in them, mm-hmm. and I just know that the only reason we're still here right now is because they've done something. And my only hope, as I've said this to you 100 times, is for things to improve on this planet, and for the darkness and the confusion and deceit and lies and filth that is happening here to end, is the hope of divine intervention.
Sure.
I mean,
mm-hmm.
that's what we're down to. I mean, we can each do what we do to do. What did I hear yesterday on a video that you posted? There were two criteria, 2 points that these people made, and one was whether you had done what you were supposed to do in your life, whatever that was, if you can figure it out. And
right.
I have a pet peeve about most of us not being told what that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you have done that, and the other thing was if you have done something positive for the earth.
Right.
That was the second criteria.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say a number 2 at least I have. That I know.
Yeah.
But the first one, what I came in for, aside from that, if it is a personal mission or lesson or whatever, correction, if I knew what it was, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But what if I don't know what it is?
Yeah.
What if it doesn't even occur to my mind, So anyway, but those are the criteria that I was thinking about, and that's where I think most of us are up against.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're all up against stuff. You know, I mean, we're all fighting our own demons. Not to mention, of course, the ones that are compromising the whole earth.
That are sent against us on top of that.
Yeah,
of course, because we didn't have enough.
No, we don't have enough to worry about and defend. You know, we have to defend our own, you know, against our own demons, and we got to defend against the ones that are fighting against humanity and fighting against all life, and you know, it goes on and on, multi-layered. So yeah, humanity is exhausted too, and you know, the light community, there's a whole bunch of reasons why we're not effective. I mean, a whole bunch of reasons, but the honest to God's truth is we're not effective. A lot of people beg to differ with me. They think that we are effective, or some of them are effective, but you can't really say that if, you know, what you're witnessing on the exterior is not that at all. You know, it's just not that. It's actually the contrary. So unless you're living in a different world, you know, as I always mention that, you know, if you're living in your mind and in your mind's eye, you're in utopia, and that usually comes, you know, for those long hours, I guess, of meditation. I don't know, because how else would you exist in such a place like that? But other than that, the reality is we're in physicality, and we're dealing with all the things that we're dealing with. And if you're in the United States of America, we're dealing with our own situation here, where, you know, this place is, you know, pretty soon could you know, experience a financial collapse of some sort and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, so everybody has their challenges, and it isn't easy, but yeah, that's the thing today. Now I wanted to ask you your opinion about what do you feel based on all the experts we've had on our shows. I have to go there. You know, I'm just curious, because I'm taking a little, you know, it's like a barometer, you know. I mean, when I talk to you, we
always do that. Yeah,
we're a barometer for each other, and try to find out, okay, are we doing this right? Are we, you know, getting the right information? Are we interviewing the right people? Is the topic the right topic? Is it time to move on?
Oh my God, you're giving me a headache again. Don't get me depressed.
What? What?
We're always asking else.
I know. So, you know, I just wanted to get a quick, you know, read. Basically, you know, what do you feel overall? If you had to, like, take an overall picture, you know, as to, you know, what we feel that most people are, you know, that we call experts, you know, are it doesn't matter even if we haven't interviewed them. It just, supposedly the experts out there, taking this picture, do you feel that everyone is on the right track, or again, it's all scattered? Everybody has 100 million opinions, and we're basically back to square one. So, what do you think?
Are you kidding me? We're basically back to square one. What do I think?
Yeah, yeah.
That is a loaded.
It's a loaded question. I know.
Oh man.
I know.
All right, I'm gonna have to really think about this. I didn't expect to get into. Have to be a little pensive about this, but just give me a second while I try to gather myself, because I mean, seriously, I mean, me personally. Yeah.
Me personally, if I take a look at the picture, if I get myself, I make believe I'm an eagle, okay, and I'm soaring up high, and I'm just taking a look at the landscape, you know, in the bottom there, as I'm flying above, and I take a look at this picture that I just presented to you.
Yeah.
I'm seeing scattered dots everywhere. Yeah. I don't see cohesiveness at all in unification of thought, of consciousness, of ideology, of principles, of nothing. I see scattered information everywhere, and that every now and then there's a common ground or a commonality within the concepts and within the belief and the ideologies and whatever, so that you can probably extract them and make some kind of a picture of your own. But in reality, everything else, all the other stuff that's the glue, it's everywhere. If you know what I'm saying.
I do. Okay, so okay, my response is going to be then what I have recently done. All right, let me break it down a little bit. The reason that I have to go into silence and quiet myself is because I'm hearing and seeing out there, with interaction with people, in conversation, in blogs and websites, forums, groups, YouTubes, articles, you name it. I'm seeing a lot, what I call the din and the noise of the 3D matrix.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing, and I recognize it as such because I have personally lived so quietly, so solitarily for so long that I can easily separate myself from everything that's going on out there because I have never really been involved with a lot of things that's going on this planet. For example, I never got married and had kids. I've never intended to have kids. I knew at 10 years old I didn't want to. So there was a degree of separation I knew I needed to keep between myself and this insane world. Right? So when I get involved in it, like we have been doing in our shows, and then I have to retreat, it's because I need to get into that space of being solitary and quiet again, because the din of the noise of the matrix has gotten to me, and when it gets to me inside, I know I need to extract it by being quiet and going back into my heart. And that heart space for me requires alone time, it requires silence, it requires beauty, it requires all the things that I do, and I have to get back there in order to separate myself from the matrix.
Yep.
Right? And it takes time. So what I'm seeing out there is the noise of the matrix and what I call the 4%. It is the 4% of reality because science and physicality has determined that what we can see, feel, smell, taste, and touch with the 5 senses is reality. And all it is, in the huge, larger picture, is 4% of physicality. 96% of reality is taking place in the invisible realms. Invisible realms, the 96%. So I call those, those limited by the physical world, I call them 4%ers.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 4%ers of the matrix are doing their thing. We're watching them doing their thing. We get involved in it. We tend to get involved in their discussions and their belief systems, but it's still the mind. The mind, the matrix is run by the mind.
Yep.
And the archons who have taken over that aspect of humanity, they have taken over the mind. So we've seen that. And I have to separate myself from it because it makes me sick, literally, to minimize myself by engaging just the mind. I get sick.
Yep.
I'm a spirit. I'm an ensouled being. I have 96% of me that is divine and wonderful, and I need to tap into that. So I go into solitary experience to get back there.
Exactly.
And that's how I handle it. So when I'm looking out there and I see all of this, what I'm seeing is the matrix. And what I know is that I have to separate myself from it in every way possible. And that's what I do. I don't know if I answered your question.
Well, yeah. I mean, you answered it based on your experience and how you do it. And so you're saying that, so to basically my question was, if you perceived, how you were perceiving all the experts that we've had up to now, and those experts that we still haven't, interviewed, the ones that call themselves experts, the ones that are the leaders, the gurus, the teachers, that type of thing, the authors.
We're looking, all of that is a patriarchal matrix that I have to separate myself from because it just is, it makes a soul sick. It's sick. So that I did answer by telling you my experience and how I see it. So that whole mess to me is the patriarchal matrix, and I have to separate myself from it. And I'm very aware of this. I'm very cognizant of this. And I always get better when I do separate myself.
Exactly. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I was, swimming in it. I'm swimming in it, and
sometimes we're swimming together.
No, that's true. No, that's true. And but to the point that you feel like at some point you're drowning because you get it's so thick. It's so thick that your muscle capacity. I'm like, you're exhausted. From swimming in that muck, and so you start sinking, and so at some point you got to get yourself out of that. Find a safe spot, a rock or something, climb yourself out, and sit there for a while and just chill.
And it will take time. It will take time. Like what I thought was only going to take days. It took actually a couple of months.
Yeah, I know.
I may go back into it tomorrow. I may come across something. I may have a relapse. Who knows? I don't know, but
it happens.
It will take a while because that's your soul being sick.
Yep.
And you can't tell your soul, okay, you have let's give you 2 days and you have 48 hours, and then you'll wake up and you'll be fine and you can get back into the muck again. No, your soul has its own way and time of dealing with things.
Yeah.
And when we get soul sick from all of this stuff that we hear about and that we research, we don't know how long we're going to need to recuperate from that.
Yeah.
Because it's sickening. It's really sickening out there. So, when it comes to all of these experts, I take it with a grain of salt, Ari. I do. I have to. But I am looking for signs in the sky.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am.
Well, what kind of signs are you looking for?
What kind? Something different? Anything different?
Does it come like a kite? What is it, a balloon? What are you looking for?
I don't know, something different. I mean, I look up and I see the stars sometimes at night. It's clear and I see the stars and I'm like, no, I'm looking for something else. I don't know, something different to show me that something different is happening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do sense something different is happening, and I think I personally feel in my being, in my core, that we are moving into a period where things are going to escalate in all kinds of things, all kinds of things. Just, it's because, we've been there before. This planet has been there before, and humanity has been there before, except that maybe many of us that are on the planet now may not have memory of it or experienced it in a physicality. So we're in it to experience it now, but it's really, whatever is going to happen, whether it's, something cosmically that's going to come in, a comet or a meteor or an asteroid or, even, just Earth events, Earth changes or whatever. When these things are talked about, though, unfortunately, because there's so many of us that have to show their superiority in their spiritual attainment, have to show, you're fear-mongering. It's fear-mongering. And there's nobody more into fear than those that are saying you're fear-mongering. I mean, hello, you want to show people how what mastery you have at this point? Don't say that. I mean, please just keep that to yourself. Pretend that you're not in fear. Because just by saying those words, you're fear-mongering shows people that you're in fear. I'm certainly not fearful. As a matter of fact, I will be the first one up there bringing that comet in. Okay, because we need a correction. We need something to catapult us to the next level. If we allow this world to continue on the path that it's on, it's just not going to get better. It's even worse. It's going to contaminate other worlds as well. There's got to be something, whatever that might be, a catalyst that will stop it. Something that will create that motion of stopping the advancement of darkness that is unfolding the planet, and a lot of people think that there isn't darkness. There is no darkness. It's only light and it's only love and there's peace. And again, they're living in a totally different reality than what is evident. But I really truly believe and feel, and I don't even want to use the word believe. It's what I'm picking up, what I'm sensing in my core, only because it's a recognition of something I've lived through before, that we are moving into a timeline where things are going to start escalating. We're going to start seeing things deteriorating with the governments of the world. We're going to start seeing things like that. I mean, that's already happening. All you got to do is take your pick, whether it's the traditional media or alternative media. Either way, you're going to be picking up on information that shows that things are exactly not in alignment to something that is of the divine plan. It's just common sense to see that to make that assumption. But at the same time, we're also seeing more earthquakes happening. We do see that. I mean, in the past week, I don't know how many earthquakes have happened. We're seeing people from different either countries or different even states in the United States experiencing meteors and really strange objects falling and stuff. So is that something that perhaps was foretold in ancient texts? What a coincidence! What a coincidence! And I mean, it's just like, I mean, does a rock have to fall on somebody's head to bring some common sense into people? I mean, hello. But are we bringing this up because we want to bring fear? I think that what is fear really if it's not a fear of death, and if we're divine and we're mortal, what is there to fear really? So it isn't fear.
It's the fear of life as we have to live it for the rest of the time that we're here.
Well, I think that's not fear, because I'm thinking, holy cow, if something from the outside, it has to happen to bring a change, even if it's the end of this world as we know it, because of the way that we know it, the way that I know it, I don't particularly care for it.
Right.
So if it's a change, if it's the end of the world as I know it and we know it, well, I welcome that.
Yeah.
Because we have a chance to rebuild it to the way that it's meant to be. And so what is really there to be afraid of? I mean, why is this conversation bringing so much fear to so many that they have to silence that person by calling them a fearmonger, as if that's going to stop the information from coming in, and it's going to stop the comments from coming in, and it's going to stop the earthquakes from coming in, and the tidal waves from, I mean, come on. Ridiculous. I mean, and the more awake that everyone says that they are, the more retarded everybody gets.
Yeah.
Or is that just my observation? I just don't know.
I don't know. It's a strange thing. There are all kinds of people, and then, like you said, we get people on the site, and then you get people who change their minds slowly.
Mm-hmm.
From what they're seeing. I've seen a couple of people recently who said something about, wow, they didn't know this was happening, but they keep seeing and watching these things and listening to the people who are talking about them, and they're like, wow, they didn't know this was going on. So, some people, they're getting a change of perspective based on what's happening. And the thing is, I think everything in the world that is possible to happen is happening all at the same time.
I noticed.
All at the same time. That's why it's so crazy, and people don't know what to think, because you can wake up one day thinking, you're going to be able to make a difference, and the next day you look around and you say, oh my God, I'm only this, there's no way I can make a difference, and then you go back and forth. I mean, I go through that myself.
Yeah.
I mean, the insanity is just all pervasive.
Yeah. Well, me personally, I'm how I'm wired. I'm wired to the point where I'm gonna try until my last breath, and that's the way I've always been wired, and because you and I have had conversations again behind the scenes where I tell you I'm exhausted, I'm done, right? I'm completely done. It's over. I'm backing off from the site. I'm backing off even from radio shows. I'm backing off, and you'll say something like, "Oh, Ari," what do you say?
It's only for an hour.
Does it last that long for an hour? I mean,
well, maybe 2.
My gosh, no. And you'll say, oh, Ari, you've told me in March of 1999, you said...
I wrote it down. I write down the dates and the times.
Yeah, and then you'll pull up and then May of 2010, and then October of... and you've got this whole record of all the times that I've ranted, and I've told you, I'm done, screw it, I'm done. And so it lasted for about those were lasting maybe a day or two, and then I would get right back on, getting on the site, and oh my gosh, look at this information. How can I not tell the members? How can I not tell, everyone? I mean, everybody has to know this, because of course it's something that allows everyone to make up their own minds and make decisions based on information. And it's just information. If people decide to react to it, in a certain way and give it certain energy, that's their option. But anyway, I personally have been communicated with, and that I do get communications, because I've told you that, and I make no, I'm not secret about that. I get communications from the beings I work with, and I was told that to let go many times. Let go, and I go, no, wait, just one more time. Let me try one more time. Let me try. And so there was actually, I think I told you, a ship on top of my house, of course, of the ones that I work with, and it was so huge, Serena, so huge, and it was so close to the ground. It was really, really that big and close to the ground that I actually got my partner to come out and take a look. It's like, take a look, take a look at this. So we were going to go back inside, and I was communicated with to please stay outside longer. And so I stayed a little longer, and I was downloaded more information. And the information was, number one, that everything that was to be done at that moment was done. In other words, there was nothing else to be done.
Right.
Everything was, was going to proceed the way it needed to proceed. So everybody needs to take that as, whatever, however that communicates to your soul.
Okay, so one quick question. When you say at that moment, how long is that moment?
No, I was talking about at the moment when I was being communicated with.
So it means now. So we're in the moment now.
We are in the moment now, so that there's nothing else that I can do or anyone else can do that would make a difference at this point. So basically, and this is like probably the fourth or fifth time that I've been told that the door of opportunity as a collective of humanity is closed. In other words, there have been so many opportunities and so many opportunities given, and that we've missed the mark, and then there's still through the grace of God, if you want to use those words, because they're kind of religious, but through grace and through mercy, another chance, and still nothing. And even the chances or my attempts to help awaken as many of the forces of light that are here to get it, to be on the same page, to be in unison, to get the work done, that hasn't been effective at all. So what happened this time was that I was, my wiring was disconnected.
Right, yeah.
It wasn't even up to me now. It was disconnected, where I have absolutely no desire to have to spoon feed anyone. You either get it or you don't. You're either on board or you're not. Okay? And because, I mean, what else can you do? I mean, you bring the horse to the water, and what are you going to do? Stick the head inside the water, and then do what? Have him stick the tongue out and make him, and you're going to swallow for him too? I mean, come on. So that's where we're at. I mean, honestly, and here's the kicker. I'm not the only one that got the same message. I've been talking to other people that have received the same communication.
Interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah, let me ask you a question then, because I'm sure there's people that will be new and they haven't heard anything, or they haven't been following anything you're doing. Just so they know, can you clarify what you mean when you say on board? When everybody needs to be on board, and they miss the mark. Can you clarify what that means? Well,
what my understanding is, and my the mission of that I've had is to bring my specific mission is not so much the masses, to try to awaken the masses, although many of the videos and blogs and things like that on our website, which is 2012emergence.com, for all those that are new to our radio show and to the site. The whole purpose was to help awaken humanity at large, specifically with respect to what 2012 represented it, and all those years after that, because it's a time frame. It's not a specific year when things were going to happen. It's a whole timeline of events. So, and the whole point was to bring all those events, get them out of our system so that we're not in fear, and et cetera, et cetera. So, when I say get on board, I mean that I was working specifically with the Lightworker community, because a lot of the Lightworker spiritual community is pretty much divided in belief in ideologies and beliefs, and how to get the work done, and how to get the job done. A lot of the spiritual community believes that maybe just meditating it away, or believing that these things are that evil doesn't exist, that darkness does not exist, that there's no such thing as demonic entities, that maybe there's no such thing as ETs that are negative, that they're all positive ETs, and everybody is a big happy family of cosmic space family, and it's a total denial of really what is happening, because if you're really a responsible human being, let alone a light being, a being that comes in with a certain consciousness already, to not see what's really happening in the world around you, that is what I'm talking about. There's a lot of division in how the world that we're living in is perceived. Many believe that it's perfect, that we've already attained ascension, that we're at the verge of attaining ascension or moving on to a fifth dimensional Earth at any moment. And that, we're not supposed to be looking at the ugliness that's happening. We're not supposed to notice that children are missing, that children are being slaughtered and used for as sexual objects, used as in satanic rituals, that women are being raped and mutilated, and men killed and brought into a concept of war, and used to create atrocities. All these things are being ignored, and that is a lack of responsibility, and is what it's doing. It's giving permission to these dark forces to continue with their agenda. And it's just getting progressively worse and worse and worse. So what's happened is that the ones that came in to this planet to make a difference have been compromised by the same forces that are committing the atrocities. They've been compromised by giving ideologies and philosophies and concepts that keep them hypnotized to think that everything's fine. And so my mission has been to bring this information forth, to put it in everybody's face. Yes, it's sometimes uncomfortable. I'm very sarcastic many times. I bring it in, it makes, basically rustles people's feathers. But it still hasn't gotten people to be on the same page where, hey, you know what? It's absolutely true. The world that we live in is not the way it should be. It's not in alignment to the divine blueprint of Prime Creator. Therefore, it is our job, the ones that came here, the ones that know better, the ones that can make a difference, it is our job to turn things around. So what's happened is that we haven't, and we failed. And so therefore, the window of opportunity has closed. And so whatever happens now. It is what it is. And we're all at fault. It's at some level or another. Because it was us collectively that were coming here to do the job. 3 people that get it are not enough to have that momentum to tip the scales in the favor of the light. It's just it hasn't worked. So that's where we're at. And that's why I was communicated that way. And so I've been asked to let go. I've been asked to step back. And so I'm now, yes, I will contribute every so often. I will be on the radio show and interviewing people that I believe that bring a message that can make a difference. I think that we've already expressed, many, many times on radio shows that the fact that there are demonic forces out there, that there are forces that are working against the light, compromising, the light workers, etc. We've even brought on wonderful guest speakers and experts in the field, and I think the people, can either they'll find the links or they won't find the links, but we've got to now interview people that either get it and can know how to make a difference and turn this thing around, which I don't even think that there is a possibility of even doing that. I don't even know where we're at in the timeline, but I've personally been asked, not even asked, my desire to get back on that horse and continue trying to spoon feed people is completely gone. I am not doing that anymore. Everybody is where they are at this point, and they either on their own volition get themselves to where they need to be, okay, because they have a burning desire to do that, or it's just not going to happen for them.
So what you're saying, if I understand, is that maybe for the collective, the door has been closed.
That is right.
The window of opportunity, but it's still open for individuals.
Yes.
Who make the effort.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
And that is the message. Yes. Yes. The opportunity is always open for an individual effort, but humanity as a collective. No, but and again, if individually a person has that burning desire, and again, here comes the thing, the burning desire, to get to the truth, to get to the bottom of things, it sometimes involves getting information from places that you never even thought of, and putting down all prejudices against certain avenues and venues of information. Because it's like I mentioned to you today, sometimes a child can give you the most amazing insight. And you go, how did that come from that child? And you would have never guessed. Or a pauper. It's the message, just to be able to be spiritually mature enough to be able to extract the message regardless of where it comes from. That is an amazing skill, and it's also to be able to have your abilities to have a discernment as well. Because you've got to be able to discern. Okay, well, it came from this particular channel of information, or not a channel, or like you're channeling an entity, but a venue.
Right.
So you're taking it from that venue, which you would not normally have. For example, maybe it's somebody that's you're against, maybe somebody who from Islam. Okay, so you happen to be reading a newspaper or listening to a YouTube, and it happens to be information about Islam, and all of a sudden there's a piece of information that's a gem that you need, to be able to capture the whole concept of something. Well, for you not to take in that information because it came from a person that's of Islamic belief is the most immature thing a person can possibly do. So whether it's a Christian person speaking, or a pastor, whether it's a Jewish person, whether it's a different sect of whatever, however it comes in, and Alex Jones, that a lot of people get irritated by him. Of course, I understand, but he, there's a lot of information to be obtained from different venues. My point is, this is a point in time that we need to very quickly get to completion, so that we can understand the whole concept of things, so that we can grow from that immediately. The timeline is getting very, very, very tight now, where we really have to make it's a very small window that we've got to go through, and we've got to do it on our own now. It's up to us. It's not going to be granted automatically, like a lot of people think. Oh, humanity is all going to send at one time. Nobody's going to be left behind. That's bullshit.
Right.
That's absolute bullshit. That's like one of the big disinformation campaigns. So that none of us actually do anything. What do you think? It doesn't take work to become ascended? You think that the ascended masters, that Jesus, unless of course everybody is of the ideology or mentality that none of these exist, and there's plenty of that around too. But these beings are for real. They have attained their freedom, and it didn't come easy. It was hard work, and it's no different for anybody else. We all have to do our homework. We all have to do our work, and it's now time to prove it. Do you deserve, going to that promised land, whether it's, whatever you want to call it, the fifth dimension, heaven, the kingdom of God. I mean, whatever, strikes your fancy, pick a name. But I really truly believe that we're at that point where it's all up to us now to actually, win our freedom from this reality.
From this reality,
yeah.
From the Matrix.
From the Matrix, yes, from the Matrix.
Okay, so let me ask you something else then. What do you think is needed for the individuals to do this, to accomplish this? What do you think is needed? Because now it's on an individual basis. So what does it mean for individuals to get there?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of tools that a person can use to do that. I did start a series with my very good friend, Atona Arias, who is more of an expert of walking people out of reality like this one. She has been doing that for many years now. So that would be something that I would pass the baton on to her. I personally know how to do it for myself, but each one has their own walk and their own journey. And we all have our levels of attainment already. You know what I'm saying? Some might need a little bit more work than others. So it's a combination of a lot of things, and a lot of it is letting go of a lot of belief systems that are and constructs and ideologies that are holding them back. That's one thing. And just leaving that baggage, it's very liberating, because it's baggage. And it's all concepts, again, in the mind that are holding people back, and identifying with a personality, with an identity that you are, that is holding a person back. Just identifying with the ego, which is an identity. That's one thing that will hold a person back. So there's a lot of levels of it, and it's not something that one can just say, oh, it's this, and that. Oh, let me get it done. I'll take it out in a day. I'll just work on it in a day, and I'm done. It doesn't work like that. It's a process. And so that's the reason that Atona and I started the Walking Between Realities series, which I do welcome any of the listeners to start with part 1 and work your way up, because it'll show you exactly where Atona was at when she started this whole process, and how she walks people out of this third-dimensional illusion, which we call an illusion. It's a reality. It's a dimension. It's a paradigm, which is we also call the Matrix, and it's a fallen world. It's a fallen realm, which is not where we come from. So that's why we have such hard time with this.
Yeah, but there are others who do come from here who are literally creations of the Matrix, and they belong. And these are the people who are having a dandy good time being here.
Yep. Right? Oh yeah, but this is not this show is not addressing those people.
No.
Because those people are not going to make a difference anyway. I mean, they're not. They're actually they're working for the forces that are here, keeping it in place.
Yeah, so, they're Matrix agents.
Right.
That's what they are.
Yeah. So I mean that's I don't know where I was going with this, but the whole point is that to go back to the whole point.
It was a rant. That's what that was.
It was a long awaited rant, because we really needed to rant and again, because I'm observing and watching and I'm feeling it in my being. I'm going, my gosh, this is making me so sad. What's going on? And it's building up and me, unlike you, I do get on the online. Okay, I may not be on the site, going in and contributing as much, but I am online, I am picking up information, I'm evaluating information from different places, and I do see comments from other places, and it's the same thing. It doesn't matter whether it's comments on our site, whether it's comments on Facebook, whether it's comments on a different blog, and on YouTube, it doesn't matter. It's across the board. It's the same thing. And people are all over the place. They're very sensitive in terms of their, what they're picking up. They're sensitive and they're reacting. There's no restriction on how they react. So they're reacting negatively. They're reacting in a way that is combative. Against the person that's posting. They're there imposing their way of thinking, not being respectful. It's almost a battle within people of ideologies. And, oh my God, if that isn't what's happening in the world around us. I mean, it's a mirror, it's a microcosm. And that's very, disturbing to me. And that's within the light community.
Yeah.
So how are we going to make a difference when the dark forces are so organized and they're not, arguing against themselves and divided? How are we going to make a difference, honestly?
Well, it's my prayer actually that the workings of the mind disintegrates. It starts to fall apart. And I think that that's what we're seeing. Mm-hmm. We're starting to see the disintegration of the function of the mind, because the mind is the archontic creation of the matrix. It has left shunted, as James Bartley says,
yeah,
the entire civilization of humanity into the left side of the brain to be these mental construct ruled Muppet people of the archons, who are just mental beings and guided away from their heart, away from their spirit and soul, which guides them. And the spirit, the soul, and the heart guides you in a quiet way. Mm-hmm. So, like I said before, we're seeing the workings of the matrix, the left shunted civilization of masses of people who are mental beings and not heart-based beings.
That's
and
right.
The mind will never come together because it's owned by the by the archons.
Right.
And so it's not going to come together. And then they're deliberately putting out false information. When the truth comes out, you get all of these guys making these videos, articles, writing articles, write-ups, expertise, all of these damn experts writing the complete opposite to put in disinformation so that your mind is confused and it is easily controlled. And I almost feel sorry for a lot of people, but I think people need to wise up and disengage the mind and the public, and get into the space of heart, because that is, if the efforts for the collective ascension or shift for humanity has been closed, and it's on an individual basis, then I would advise people to get into the personal space of taking care of your own soul, spirit, and heart. I mean, this is where the divine lies.
Yep.
This is where divinity is. This is where God is. This is where the virtues lie. Immortality. The exquisiteness of life is found there. It's not going to be found in the mental workings of all the mess that we're looking at in all those places. It's maddening out there. We really need to go inside. We need to go inward, right? In more ways than one.
Yep. Yeah, you definitely hit the nail on the head on that. Absolutely. And it's going into that silence, and I just want to correct things, because I just don't want people to get again misperceive what I'm saying with respect to meditation. Okay, I'm all for meditation. I meditate. What I'm saying is we do need to meditate. We do need to connect. And meditation is really the best way to meditate. To connect is through meditation, to go into that silence and connect directly to source. Directly, all your information, all your needs are all met through source. There is nothing else outside of you. When you go directly to your creator, your prime creator, and that is the way to connect. What I do have a problem with, and that's just me personally, and my observation, and there's other people, of course, that will speak about this as well, is that to have come into this embodiment, to have put on this bodysuit and experience all the hardships that a lot of us have experienced, okay? To just sit in meditation, to bliss out of here, then we've missed the purpose of why we were here in embodiment to begin with. Because if we're trying to bliss out to go back into those realms where we came from originally, then we might as well just have stayed there and not have to have come through all this trauma that we have to, because it's traumatic to be here. And so we're not making a freaking bit of a difference if we're blissing out on those worlds, exploring those worlds, traveling all those worlds, seeing all these beautiful realms, walking with the masters, walking with all the archangels and all the beings of light. Yay! Isn't that great? But that's what we were doing before we got here. So if I'm taking a road trip and I'm going to go to a road trip, a vacation in California, or I have a mission to go to California, or a job to do in California, and I'm from New York, and on the way to the road trip, I'm just thinking, gosh, I wish I was back in New York. I wish I was back in New York, and I'm thinking of New York. Get to California, my head is not even on the job because I'm thinking about New York. Well, why the heck did you leave? Go back into New York. You know, you can't possibly be effective on your job or whatever that is that you were doing in California if all you're doing is thinking about the place you just came from. So, I mean, my whole point is, holy cow, we've invested so much time and so much effort, and it's such a huge ordeal to be here that we've missed the mark of making a difference because our heads are elsewhere. We're not committed. We're not committed to do the job here. We're not committed. We've done a half-assed job. I'm sorry, it's a half-assed job, if even half. And that totally ticks me off. I mean, you want to get me ticked off? That's what gets me ticked off. That we came here for a purpose together, all of us. We you know, a call was put out. The best of the best were selected. We came here, put on this stupid suit, all right, with all the crap that goes with it, to bliss out and think that we're back to where we came. Are you kidding me? Talk about a con job that was done on us. Okay, they sold us the lemon. All right, we bought the lemon. That's what happened, and that's what my mission has been, to try to bring this up. To make us realize that is what's happened. We've been compromised. When people don't realize what I say is that the dark forces compromise the light forces by giving us propaganda through the New Age movement, through all kinds of, you know, ideologies and things that makes us feel good, because it's so much easier to feel good. Why? Because we naturally gravitate to those bliss worlds, the worlds of bliss, the worlds of joy, the worlds of light. Although those worlds that we come from, we naturally gravitate to that because it's heart based. It's based on heart. It's based on love. That's who we are. So they sell us that propaganda via New Age movements and spiritual movements and things like that, giving us the wrong information to chase that carrot, thinking that we're going to eventually get there. We're going to get there real quick. We're going to get there. You know, if we keep doing this, if we keep blissing out, if we keep making believe that there's no bad, there's no evil, there's no demons, there's no reptilians, and just, you know, keep looking at the carrot. Don't worry. In the meantime, they're exterminating our society, our children, our women. They're creating atrocities, creating more of that loosh so that they can feed on it. In the meantime, while we're supposed to be doing the job and correcting it, we're looking the other way because we're thinking we need to go back to those worlds. And that's what gets me really, upset. It gets me furious, and that's what has kept me getting back on the horse and trying. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying until I was basically communicated. Forget it. It's done.
Right. Well, I'm glad they communicated that to you, because that needed to be communicated.
I know.
But, like you say, the people have been severely compromised. They have been sold a lemon. They thought they were getting something else.
Yep.
They really did not know what was hitting them. A lot of people still don't know what is hitting them. I tend to have some sympathy for the people, because I see how they were misled and how they really believe these things, because oh my God, I've come across a lot of these people I've had to have discussions with and engaged, with emails or whatever, comments going back and forth. And these people, they really are good people, but they really believe what they have been taught. They don't know. So just like, any these terrorists that go out there and literally kill other innocent people, children, animals, and they blow up innocent people because they really believe they're doing something for their God, for their Allah. Mm-hmm. They really believe that they are doing something divine, and that all of these other people are what, infidels? I don't know what they call us.
Yeah.
But, this horrible stuff. This is a real belief system, and it's going to take probably several lifetimes to correct that.
Yeah.
It's hard, Yeah. The wool was pretty thick that got pulled over,
Oh, yeah.
And so if the time for the mass collective is done, that door is closed, thank God, enough of that. Now, as individuals, what can we do? So what can we do now? What do we need to do as individuals? What are our options now?
Well, I mean, I honestly don't have that answer. I can only work on myself and know where I'm going from the platform of where I'm at. But one of the things definitely you did say is definitely to go inward, to stop using that left brain, to start, functioning more from the heart. Go into that silence and start connecting directly to Source, to your Prime Creator, to your God, whomever, I'm assuming it's Prime Creator. I'm hoping that that's who your God is, the being that there is this beginningless, endless, the one with no name. Okay, that one, and go from work from there. Go directly and get all your answers from that point, because if you are depending on getting answers and basing your spirituality on experts that are all interpreting information that is all probably corrupted information anyway, you're compromising your ticket out of here. You really need to get it directly from Source, where the information is completely pure, untainted, direct, and stop relying on other people for your information, other blogs and websites for your information. At some point, you've got to be able to determine that all the stuff that you learned, about Atlantis and about the reptilians and about the Anunnaki and it's all just information, and it's going to be stuck in your head. And so what? Well, who are you as a being? What are you doing? What are you doing? Who are you? What are you about? The information is all great. It's entertainment while you're here. It's just entertainment. Okay, it's allowing you to understand, okay, well, what do I do next? How about putting all that information down for a second and connecting directly to Source and getting it, all the stuff that you need, especially what you need to do next in your evolution as a spiritual being. What you need to do next will come directly from Source. If you quiet yourself down, stop putting all the YouTubes and the internet and all that stuff, trying to get all that information from there. Put all that stuff away, shut it down for a little bit, go into that silence like you've done, Serena. Go into that silence and figure it out from there, because all the answers will come to you. But you got to sit one with your Creator directly, just you and him or her, him, her. Her, him, however you want to see it, because there is no gender in those levels. To just connect directly, and how can you not get the right information? You will, but you've got to be willing to do that. Now, how many people want to do that? Oh, I don't have time. Okay, well, then that's your problem, ain't it? Then that's why you're where you're at. But you got to be able to do that, and that's what I would do at this point. I mean, and again, there are other tools that can be used, and like I said, and I know that I'm not the one that will walk you out of it, but I do know someone who will, and though that's the radio show, at least the perspective that will be presented has worked for many of the students that are involved with Tona, and it works for her students. I know that I've seen it. I've seen the magic happen. I've seen it. I have walked with her many times with that. And it's not that she, it just happens to be that there are certain tools or certain methods that can be used to be able to walk you out of a reality or of a condition that you might be in. And again, it's just a reality. It's a perception. So that's what I say, But anyway, I believe that the rant is pretty much, I'm done with my rant.
Okay.
Are you done with your rant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think it's been a good rant. I think it's an interesting rant. Usually it starts off with a rant, and then hopefully there's some valuable information that people can use, hopefully.
Yeah, well, right now, a lot of people, I'm sensing, my heart is going out to a lot of people, actually, right now, because I feel their pain. I hear their comments. I hear what they're going through. Like, enough already. Enough. Enough of this nonsense. They're clearly all in the wrong place. I mean, a lot of us really can't hang on with this stench of iniquity and evil that we are surrounded with. It's just, it is painful, no matter how you cut it. It's just painful. So my heart goes out to them, and I just wanted to say that, you know, there's a lot of beautiful souls out there, and my heart goes out to them.
I agree, and my heart goes out to all of you also. It's all of us. This is a problem that belongs to all of us. And the thing is, you know, Serena, the honest to God's truth is, you know, of course, like you and I joke, you know, all the time, is that we've landed here, but we weren't given instructions, we weren't given a map, and we pretty much have to figure it out. We've got to, first of all, remember who we are, and run the risk of not even waking up and to remember. And so that's part of the love that we had for this planet, that we have for this planet, for us to leave those blissful worlds behind to come into something like this, and then risk the fact of, you know, of remembering who we are, and then losing our way into this in this reality, thinking that we're the natives, that we're the Navi, you know. Although the Navi were very enlightened compared to, you know, to the ones that you know, were conquering them. But you know, we're talking about, of course, the movie Avatar. But anyway, so we've run out of time. I thank you all for listening to our rant today. Serena, thank you very much for calling me and inviting me to this rant. I thought, yeah, it was definitely overdue, and I'm very happy that you're feeling better. You've all been listening to Shattering the Matrix. You've been listening to Ari, Kopel, which is myself, and Serena. You can hear us usually when we're feeling well and up to it. It used to be every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully we can do this every Thursday. If not, then it'll be whenever we are on. Yeah, you know, whenever we have something to say, I guess.
Yeah, such are the times.
Exactly. Such are the times. Anyway, God bless everyone. Take care, and we love you very much, and we deeply do care. Thank you very much. We'll catch you next time. Good night.
Good night.